Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Karlie. I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. This is my space where I can talk about all of my current projects that I am working on. Most of the time it will be knitting, however you will see a bit of crochet, some sewing, eco printing on fabric, and even some stained glass along the way. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the gift knitting that I did for this past Christmas, as well as the Sweet Georgia 2022 Advent shawl that I recently completed. Let's start with the Advent shawl. I don't have it with me. I did gift it to my mom just a couple days ago because the colors were more in her palette and not colors I would wear, so I knew it would get a lot more wear if I gave it to her. I did, however, take a video and some pictures, so I will insert that video here. And I absolutely loved this project. It was my first Advent project ever, and first completed shawl as well. So this completely got me hooked on Advent knitting. I know from here on out, every year I'm going to be buying at least one Advent kit, and I already have my eye on some dyers that I love, and I know I'm going to be purchasing their 2023 Advent for December. And I enjoyed it so much that it took so much time away from the gift knitting that I should have been completing in December, because I left some to the very last minute because I was enjoying the Advent knitting so much. So my goal for next year, December 1st, I have to have all of those gift knits done and off the needles. And then all of December, it's just Advent knitting, and I can get so much joy from that. There's no pressure. I do like to follow along with the days, but there's no pressure of having to have it done and presented to someone on the 25th of December. So that is my goal for the following year, and I think I can do it. And I might even get 2 Advents in December, so we'll see. But this shawl was really fun, just because, again, the colors I wouldn't choose for myself, so it was fun to knit with something different for once, and all of the techniques were pretty new to me, so I did learn a lot as well. And I love when I can like step out of my comfort zone with knitting, especially when I didn't pick out the pattern and it was a surprise along the way, and to leave with some new skills and to give it to my mom as well after. It was so much fun. So that is the shawl that I completed. Again, that was the Sweet Georgia 2022 Advent shawl. Next, we will get into some of the gift knits that I completed for this past Christmas as well. So I don't have a lot of them here with me because they are gifted. However, I do have one, and we will start with that. And this one I completed December 23rd at about 11 p.m. at night. So I was really pushing it. And it was my last gift knit I had to complete, but I did make it. It was complete, blocked, and ready to go for Christmas Day for my partner to open up. And this is the Subtle Stripe Vest by Laura Killian. Here it is. I did size medium. I should have done size large, but it turned out it has stretched and like grew in blocking quite a bit. And here's the back. The only changes I made was it called for twisted rib for all of the edging and the hem here, and I just did a regular 1x1 rib just because I felt twisted rib was getting so difficult with the needles and this type of yarn that I was using. It just wasn't working for me, so I just went with the regular rib, but everything else is to pattern. And I really liked this one because the stripes are all the same front and back, but underneath the arms they get a little more narrow. And I really liked that design element to it, and also it's still simple enough, but gives a little bit more to the, the look of it with these stripes rather than just plain stockinette throughout. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. It was my first vest I've ever made, so all in all, pretty good. I do wish the armholes were a bit bigger, but I think they'll stretch with time. And it fits my boyfriend pretty well. Could be a little bit longer, but maybe it'll stretch out, so we will see. And you know, I get so much joy from seeing my partner wearing this and seeing him happy in it. It is just like the best feeling when you see a loved one wearing something you made for them. And that's what's so special about gift knits as well. Like, it's not only the time that you put into it, but you know that like you had to think about the yarn choice for them and the color and the sizing and the pattern, and there's so much thought put into each gift knit that's part of the gift too. I think is just they know that you had them on your mind the whole time while making it. So I'm really pleased with this guy here. Yeah, first fest and was done by Christmas, and I was really concerned that it wasn't going to be. I did cast this on, I think, maybe mid-November, end of November, and I had a lot of other projects on the go as well. So I'm pleased with the progress I made in that given time, and being that it was my first vest as well. Some other ones that I gifted this year, I don't have with me, but I do have pictures. So we'll start with this one here. I'll insert a picture. This is the Cable Bomber from Wool and the Gang, and I got it as a kit a year and a half ago. And I used the Crazy Sexy wool from Wool and the Gang as well for this. And so I knit this up for my sister, and it was supposed to get to her last Christmas, but I didn't get it done in time, so a whole year later, finally had it done. And the reason why I didn't get it done is just I didn't enjoy knitting this one. Nothing to do with the pattern, it was great, it's just I don't like knitting with big knitting needles and chunky yarn. And so I kept putting it off. I didn't get much joy from making it, but once I got near the end, I did get more joy because I could see the finished product coming and forming into an actual sweater, and I knew how much my sister would love it. And it was the best giving it to her because she's waited about a year and a half for this now. So I'm so happy with how it turned out, and it looks really good on her, and she's obsessed with it. And the only thing is the sleeves are a bit long, so I wish I'd shortened them, but she doesn't mind them rolled up, and it does look cute like that too. So the next one is another sweater. This is a kit as well from We Are Knitters, so I'll insert a picture here. This is the Barent's cardigan, and again, this was one that was supposed to be gifted to my mom over a year ago at the last Christmas. I just didn't have much knitting motivation at the time when I bought this kit, so it didn't get done. But she loved it this year, and this was super easy to make because it's just garter stitch, knit in panels, and then seam together. So it was a really good mindless knit to watch in front of the TV or whatever, and then I put it off for so many months, and then boom, within a week it was done. I don't know why I put it off that long, because it was enjoyable to knit as well. But yeah, this was the We Are Knitters, and I used their wavy wool for it, and I believe it was dark copper. I don't have the ball bands for them anymore since it was such a long time ago, but it is the dark copper and wavy wool. And another gift that I gave this year is this hat here, and this is the Pearl Soho Lovely Ribbed Hat, free pattern, and I use the Estelle Eco worsted yarn, 100% wool. I don't have the color name for it as I don't have the ball band, sorry. But this was gifted to my dad, and I did the lovely ribbed hat by the 2x2 ribbing version of it, and he loved it so much. It looked great on him. It's a super warm hat, and I loved it so much that I started one for myself, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So those were the main gifts of the year. I gifted a lot more, just a lot of hats that all look the same, and some different like little pot holders that I finger knit together and things like that. However, I don't have a whole lot of photos of them, so I won't be showing them. But those were the main gift knits of the year. And again, I was just so proud of myself that I actually got everything done on time this year. That was a huge feat for me. And now that I know I can do it, I'll be hopefully doing that every year. So yeah, it was a good year for gift knits. Now I think I want to get into just some of the WIPs that I have at the moment. Some of them you've seen before if you watched the first episode. But we'll start with one that I just cast it on about 2 days ago, and this is my version of the lovely ribbed hat. And again, I don't have too much on it because I just started, but here it is. And I'm using Noro yarn for this, and I don't have the, oh, I do have the ball band here. So Noro yarn, and I think it's color Madara, and so it's 60% wool, 30% silk, and 10% alpaca. And when it's caked up, you can see all the different color variations. Mostly got a lilac base to it, but it's coming up with the most beautiful fabric with all the little bits. Like we got a subtle green stripe in there, and then there's just like different variations of pinks and purples and little bits of yellow and red, and it's just gorgeous. So I cannot wait to have this one done. This is all the yarn I have for it, as I only bought one skein. So I'm hoping it works out okay, because I've already used so much. I almost had like the same size of ball here when I started, and it's only gotten me this much. So I don't know. I'm not confident that I'll be able to get a hat out of this much. If not, I'm just going to turn it into like a cute headband, and I'll be happy with that. But if it does turn into a headband, it is still based off of the lovely ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. And that is the free pattern, so if you're looking for any good hat patterns, that is always my go-to. It's perfect because you get into the groove with the knit, purl, or knit, knit, purl, purl. And I just love having one on my needles at all times because it's the perfect mindless knit for me. And I love these hats. They're the perfect shaping and style I find for my head anyway. And I'm very picky about what toques or hats I wear. Excuse me. And I am keeping this in a really cute project bag by This and That Co. Design. They are a mother-daughter team, and the mother makes and sews all of these bags. They are meant for travel makeup bags, however, they're perfect for little project bags too, and they're machine washable. So yeah, This and That Design Co. You can check them out. My next one you've also seen before if you saw the first episode, and that is my Nanaimo cardigan by Goodnight Day. And I'm using the Wool in the Gang Crazy Sexy Wool in Bronzed Copper. Here is my cardigan. So I've got the collar here, and it is a raglan style, so I'm just a few into my raglan increases here. I've got a few more rows before I split off for the arms, and hopefully by the next time I speak to you all, I'd have split off for the arms by then. That'll be my goal. But just to show what it's going to look like, here we go. I can't wait for this to be done, but as you know, because I've said it previously, I hate knitting with big chunky needles and chunky yarn. So why did I start this project? Well, it was just such a cute cardigan that I couldn't resist, and I love this color. I knew it'd be so warm, so I'm having a tough time staying motivated to knit it, but yeah, I find it, if I just work a couple rows a day, a few rows a day, then it should be okay. So it's going to be really cute, I think. I can't wait to have it done. I just got to get past the whole knitting with chunky needles. It just bothers my hands, so that's why I don't like it, but I love this collar so much. Like, that was a huge part of why I wanted to knit this. And it can go up too, but I love it folded down. And it's really simple. It doesn't have any buttons or anything. And it's just going to be, once I'm done with the increases and all that, it's just going to be the stockinette stitch the whole way down. So I'll keep you all updated on that, and hopefully I do get some good progress in the next few weeks here. I'll try to make that a priority. Otherwise, this won't be done for a very long time. if I don't have a plan for it. And I am keeping this in this granny square bag that I made this past year. I love this bag so much. It's a huge one, so it's great for chunky sweaters like this. And I used the Line Brand Rewind wool for this, or yarn for this. And I don't have any of the ball bands anymore because it was quite a long time when I made this. But I just basically crocheted a bunch of these flower granny squares together. And originally this was supposed to be like a vest or a sweater or something, but I got so sick of crocheting the squares that I just stopped where I was at, and then I looked up how to like join them to make a bag shape. And I ended up having the perfect amount of squares, so I came out with this mammoth of a bag, and now it's absolutely perfect for a sweater, chunky sweater project bag. And I really want to make a few more of these for project bags now, because I love having knit or crochet projects in something that's knit or crochet. And we will end off, actually no, I've got two more. I showed this one last time, and I've gotten about one more repeat of flowers done since showing you last. So this is the Pressed Flowers cardigan or shawl by Amy Christophers. And this is a slow going project. It's mosaic knitting, so it takes about twice as long to see the progress. Here we go. But every time I knit this, I'm just amazed by this design and pattern. It's so fun to knit, even though it does take a long time. And oh my god, I can't wait for this to be done. My goal is to have this done by Easter so I can wear it for Easter, because it's such like a cute spring design. It'd be so cute with like a linen dress I want to sew up. So yes, that's the goal, to have it done by April. And it seems like such a long ways away, but this is kind of one that I just knit in between projects, and it just takes so long. So I think that'll be manageable. It gives me a few months here. And what I'm trying to do now that I'm done all of the gift knitting is work on at least a few rows every single day and just get in the habit of waking up and doing that. And then I think I should be good. And I only need about 2 more rows of flowers here until I go into the border. So I'm getting there, and yeah, if I keep up this progress of knitting a couple rows a day, hopefully by the next time I show you all these projects, I'll have started the border. Let's hope. Finally, my last project I want to show is, I believe it's the Calico quilt shawl, and I got this idea from Crazy Sock Lady because I saw she was wearing it over her Vlogmas videos, and I just had a lot of random bits of yarn piling up and stash yarn, as we almost always have. And so I wanted just an ongoing project that I'll have kind of no end date for this, but just a spot to put all of my scrap bits. And this is actually an Advent pattern. So you don't need a whole lot of yarn for each color, but this is what I have done so far. So it's basically, if you haven't seen it, it's a shawl just made up a bunch of these triangles, and it's all garter stitch. So it's a really fun knit. I've only done these 2 triangles. And this here is yarn that I dyed myself. And I didn't know what to do with it, so I just thought I'd throw it into this shawl. But basically I dyed this with onion skins, was the main base of it. These dark bits, I used these deep blue dried hollyhocks from my mom's flower garden. And then the darker brown is tea and coffee. So I love having some yarn in there that I dyed myself. But I'm so excited. Again, there's no goal for this. It's just whenever I feel like I need to get rid of some of this scrap yarn, I just make up some triangles and throw it in here. But some of the yarn that will be adding it, I've got this here, this lovely pink. I've got some brown, some blue, and this cool multicolored. So we'll see, that's what I have for my scrap yarn so far, and we'll see how the colors all come together, but it'll just be like a fun, crazy colored shawl that I can wear around the house, or it can be my knitting shawl. So that's all I have to show you guys today. It feels really good to have a lot of projects off the needles and down to 3 main projects right now. And yeah, I'm excited for the new year. Maybe I do have some knitting plans in my Ravelry that I've saved and in the queue. So maybe I'll share a bit of that with you guys later. I'm also going fabric shopping tomorrow, so I will have some new sewing projects coming up, and I'd love to share that all with you too. So thank you so much for joining me today on this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you all again. Happy New Year! Bye!